Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, we are looking at another severe weather outbreak we are talking about today across Texas on Friday, April 28th. This is bringing all the chances for tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. We're going to be discussing and breaking it down in this video. Looking at the storm prediction center, we have an enhanced risk out for portions of northeastern Texas across the board here on Friday. We also have a slight risk surrounding that, also extending down there further into southern Texas, bringing another threat for damaging hail, winds, and potentially tornadoes on Friday. Even a marginal risk across the southeast, also surrounding that slight risk. We could see these isolated thunderstorms on Friday. Checking out the tornado threat here, we have a 5% chance. That is including the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Going into southern Oklahoma, not a huge chance, but that risk is there for potentially a few tornadoes throughout that general vicinity. Don't forget that 2% chance, we have another chance for an isolated tornado or two within that 2% risk for tornadoes. Looking at the damaging wind threat, we have a 15% chance for around 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but this will be a line of storm, so you can definitely see stronger winds than that. They may even upgrade this wind threat outlook in the near future here, as this threat is tomorrow. This definitely will change a little bit until tomorrow, so I'll keep you updated if this does change with the community posts and social media. And we have a hail threat here. We have a 30% hazard risk for damaging hail, and with that significant risk, we potentially could see 2-inch size plus sized hail. So the same threat we saw yesterday, we have a definitely big time hail threat with this setup once again, especially over here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But then again, this extends all the way down here across San Antonio with that significant risk that we have in place. Looking at the future radar here across Texas on Friday, you can see here we have some storms. We have a cluster of rain showers going across Kansas and Oklahoma throughout the morning hours of Friday, heading throughout those afternoon hours as we come across lunchtime. This is going to be 2 p.m. Central, where we begin to see some of these storms start to develop just southwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. These developed rather quickly throughout 2 or 3 p.m., and those really start to form a cluster of potential supercells producing large hail, upwards of 2 inches or more, damaging winds, even tornadoes within those first stages of development. Eventually, we head throughout later afternoon hours, and this forms into a line of storms where that main wind threat will come from throughout the evening hours. Still some storms around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. San Antonio seeing some of those strong storms as they develop over San Antonio, Waco. Houston also seeing some of these stronger storms throughout some of those late afternoon hours. We head through about 8 p.m. and these storms are heading towards Houston, where Houston is not going to see a whole lot here. You can see here these storms are kind of weakening as they head towards Houston. But by the time we get to this point around 10 p.m., these storms will mainly be a cluster of heavy rain and lightning. Not really much of a damaging wind threat with this by then, and those will be heading into the Gulf of Mexico. Southern Texas still seeing some of those storms, and also Oklahoma mainly seeing clustered heavy rain as some of those leftover storms kind of cluster together and then head through Arkansas, Missouri through those overnight hours. Looking at the significant tornado parameters, and this is a model that we look at that combines a lot of the tornado ingredient models together and just spits it out into one single model that we take a look at once in a while. See the main areas that could see that main tornado threat. As you can see, we have a little area of interest here that sparks up around 3 p.m. and that's where those storms are going to be developing, is along this line right here, which is what we call a dry line here throughout the central United States, where there's a lot of dry dew points and a lot of moist dew points just split off from each other. That's the dry line here, and that's what those storms are going to be developing off of. And that little area of interest could spark a couple of tornadoes with these storms in this general area heading eastward. That could definitely spark a few tornado threats here throughout just south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area on Friday. We move forward here. As you can see, that tornado threat eventually starts to broaden out here. Still a small tornado threat throughout those line of storms as they head southeastward. This cluster of storms, I think, will have the highest tornado threat throughout those evening hours across northeastern Texas. But eventually, that tornado threat actually sparks up a little more throughout the evening hours, or a little bit eventually, then weakening off with those main cluster of rain showers and thunderstorms. So obviously the tornado threat is not going to be very high with this setup, but definitely a few areas of interest could spark up with a few tornado threats. I wouldn't be surprised for the afternoon of Friday. And looking at some of these updraft helicity swaths, some of these storms as well could produce some short-lived mesocyclones, again producing that potential tornado threat throughout those early afternoon hours. Again, some more areas, but not really as of concern. Again, that main tornado threat with that 5% chance will be up here in northeastern Texas. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on post notifications. You won't miss a single update live stream on this. Once again, another severe thunderstorm threat here for Friday, as we definitely saw quite an event yesterday. We're going to see definitely quite an event expected for Friday. Share this update with any friends or family that may be living in Texas, southern Oklahoma, that may want the latest updates on this severe thunderstorm outbreak event that could be happening tomorrow. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.